Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're going over our team selection for double and blank game week 25 as we have made 3 new transfers to the team. Really looking forward to game week 25 as we do have a lot of double game week players. If you guys are enjoying the FPL videos, drop a like and subscribe as it really does help out the channel, and also to make sure you don't miss any future FPL videos, click the notification bell as well as there is going to be lots more FPL content coming your guys' way shortly. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So first of all, let's have a look at how the team got on in game week 24. Overall, not a bad week in the end for us, as we did have Rashford, Fernandes and Kane all performing very well in the last couple of matches of the match day. But before that, as you can see here, pretty much no one else in the team did anything apart from Odegaard, who picked up an assist and triple bonus points. All the goalkeeper and defenders couldn't produce anything. Haaland blanked on captaincy, and Bamford and Andreas both came off the bench for Akanji and Mahrez, who were 2 players that were originally starting, but both got benched without coming on against Nottingham Forest. So a big opportunity missed out there with triple Manchester City, as we could have had quite a good score if all those 3 players did play, and they would have had a decent chance of producing something against Forest. But I think now with the increased risk of rotation with those City assets, especially with a busier fixture schedule for them, those are players that I'm looking to get out of the sides, especially Kanji, who's not really been getting many minutes at all recently since a couple of City defenders have returned from injury. And unfortunately, the new signing Badiashile couldn't provide anything for Chelsea, as James Ward-Prowse's free kick was enough to make the difference in their match. So slightly unfortunate not to have a clean sheet there, considering how good that Ward-Prowse goal was. But overall, after Fernandes was able to go crazy with 12 points with a couple of assists and triple bonus in the second last match of the match day, did save our game week massively, as we were looking in a very dire situation before Fernandes produced this haul. Obviously Rashford did outscore him with 15, but most people already do have Rashford that's still playing the game. So that has seen us score a total of 55 points for game week 24, which did see us take around 100k green arrow, just that's sitting outside the 1 million rank right now. Obviously not the ideal rank for so far this season, but we will be looking to push as furthest towards the top 100k as we can by the end of the season. And let's have a look at some transfers that we're looking to make before double and blank game week 25. And as I said earlier, we have made 3 changes to the team, so let's see what they are. So the first change we've looked to make is Akanji out to Robertson. This was a move that I was really looking to make, especially after Akanji was getting rotated quite heavily in his last 3 matches for Manchester City. He hasn't played a full 90 in any of his last 3 and has failed to start in the majority of these games. So I think Akanji is a good option to move out of the sides, especially with a lot of good defensive assets coming through now. We've already ticked off that Chelsea defense with Badiashile, which is one I think could be worthwhile targeting over the coming match days. But the main one you're looking to get in is Robertson, as he's got very good fixtures for Liverpool coming up, and of course the double this week in game week 25. So it's a great chance to have Liverpool assets in the team, and Robertson is my favourite Liverpool defensive asset right now. I could go for Trent, but I do prefer Robertson at 0.5 cheaper. He's got better underlying stats in terms of expected assists than Trent, and I think so since you can save that 0.5, it's probably worthwhile opting for Robertson. Not saying Trent's a bad option. If you want to go for Trent, feel free, but in my side I am going to choose Robertson here, and I think this is a nice move to have. I think Robertson should perform quite well in game week 25, and even though Akanji does have Bournemouth, I'm just not sure he's going to get minutes in this game. We haven't locked in these transfers yet, but these are very likely transfers to occur. We'll just have to watch the Manchester City Champions League match. If Akanji does start in the Champions League, then I'm definitely going forward with this move. Even if he does get rested in the Champions League, I'm not sure he's going to get minutes in the Premier League either, as Man City have so many good centre-back options right now. Even Ake can drop in there, who got rested as well in their most recent Premier League fixture. So I think Ake, since he's also a chance of taking Akanji's spot, Akanji is a good one to get out of the side as soon as possible. And I just think, especially in game week 25 with so many people blanking, I can't afford to have players blank and some players also not play in teams. Otherwise, we will take a big red arrow this week. Moving on to the second transfer, we have gone Fernandes upgraded to Salah. So another big upgrade to have in the midfield, and also building off that Akanji to Robertson upgrade in defense. Salah, one of my favorite premium assets to target right now. I think he is the way forward for me in terms of premium midfielders. And I think Liverpool are the way forward as well, as they do avoid most blanks. They do have a chance of avoiding a blank in game week 28. Plus, they do avoid the game week 32 blank, which does later have extra flexibility flexibility in the teams in terms of having as many starting players as you can at all times. I think Salah's a nice option to have, especially with a double this week, of course, and he's a very good captaincy contender. If we do get him into the teams, which is very likely, it'll probably be in a toss-up between Salah and Odegaard for our captain slot right now, but potentially we'll be leaning towards Salah, just given he's been in slightly better form than Odegaard, in terms of the fact that he's provided 2 returns in his last 2 games, compared to Odegaard, who's just got that 1 assist in his last game there for Arsenal, which was quite a low XA assist, as he did play the ball into Zinchenko, who scored quite a goal from the edge of the box. So that for that reason, I do prefer Salah as my captain pick, but I think just having Salah in the team allows us to have such a stronger midfield. Obviously, Fernandes missing out in game week 25, and Salah is my favourite premium midfielder, even over Kevin De Bruyne as well. Yes, De Bruyne's got a good fixture this week of Bournemouth, but I just think I like Salah more with that double game week, and with the form that he's been in and Liverpool have been in the last couple of matches, I think now is the right time to jump on their assets. And to make these 2 moves affordable, we have opted to go for Harry Kane out of the side. So that was a trade-off that we have to kind of think about, is bringing Salah in for Fernandes, but having to drop to another premium and Harry Kane, who has been also pretty good touch recently and across the whole season, of course, as well. Letting go of Harry Kane is probably not going to be easy, as I have had him for the majority of the year, and he's done me very, very well. But I think getting Salah in now is a bigger opportunity than losing Kane. And looking at the player that we're bringing in for Kane as well, it's a player that's been in great form recently in Ollie Watkins, has now provided returns in each of his last 4 games for Aston Villa. Aston Villa also have great fixtures coming up and avoid blank game weeks in game weeks 28 and 32. So I think that's a good team to target and have in the sides right now. Also, Aston Villa still have an extra fixture to be played against Leicester, so they will have to have that rearranged at some point as well, which will mean they have a double game week coming up in the future. So I think having Aston Villa players, especially Watkins, could provide us with a lot more flexibility, especially for blank game week 32, which we are probably not going to use a free hit in. We're going to use the free hit in game week 28. I think if we don't have the free hit available for 32, we're going to need as many players as we can playing in that week. And with Liverpool and Aston Villa both playing in game week 32, it does allow us to free hit in 28 without having as many consequences in blank game week 32 in terms of having to take hits to get players in the team. So for that reason, I think Watkins is a nice option. A player in great form with great underlying numbers, with good fixtures coming up, and also a player that does avoid blanks. I think Watkins is the way forward, and hopefully he can match Harry Kane for points. I really would be quite ashamed if Harry Kane just went on an incredible scoring run, put up massive hauls now. But for me, Salah in is better than having Kane right now. So that's why we've opted to bring Salah in, as well as Robertson, who had 2 big upgrades to the side, whilst also getting Watkins in for Harry Kane, who I think is a good player to have in the side as well. So with these potential transfers in mind, let's have a look at our current side for double game week 25. As you can see here, quite a few players doubling. We've got obviously Ramsdale and Ben White in defence there for us. Double Arsenal defence hasn't been doing us well the last couple of weeks, but hopefully it can produce the goods here with a very, very good double game week against Leicester and Everton. Leicester are a side who have, despite struggled for form this season, have still been able to maintain some pretty decent goal scoring ability. Couldn't score in the most recent match though against Manchester United, so maybe Arsenal can get a clean sheet here, but the main fixture that they're in here for is Everton at home, which is a great chance for a clean sheet for Arsenal. They weren't able to do so in the reverse fixture at Everton, but being at home, Arsenal are a very strong side at the Emirates. So hopefully double Arsenal defence can finally pay off for us, as we have obviously lost one of those Arsenal slots to be able to bring in Bukayo Saka. So we are giving giving up quite a lot, should I say, in having the double Arsenal defence instead of Bukayo Saka. So I need this to pay off for me this week. Robertson, the new signing, he's got Crystal Palace and Wolves. I really like that fixture against Wolves at home, as obviously they are a side that have struggled for goals this year, and Robertson has already provided 5 assists as well to accompany his 5 clean sheets, as not only has Robertson had good attacking potential, but Liverpool have shot up their defence in their last couple of fixtures, picking up a couple of clean sheets recently. And Bueno rounds out the defense right now. Not massively sold on Bueno, as he doesn't have a chance, or he does have a good chance, sorry, of getting benched in at least one of these fixtures. And Fulham and Liverpool both away, not necessarily the easiest fixtures from a defensive perspective, as Fulham are pretty good at home, and of course Liverpool I would fancy for a goal against Wolves in that fixture. But hopefully, if Bueno can get at least one start, he can record a clean sheet. If he plays that game against Fulham, I think that's probably better, as Wolves do have a higher chance of a clean sheet against Fulham here. But for me, I'm still going to opt to start Bueno over the single gaming play in Badiashile, just because if Bueno does start both games, he should be able to make up at least 4 points from these games, whereas if Badiashile blanks will just have the twos, we have a slightly better extra safety there, having a Bueno start on the side. Also, looking at a potential Badiashile replacement, we've got Andreas right now in the midfield. He's got Wolves at home. That is a bit of a toss-up as to whether or not I should start Andreas against Wolves and bench Badiashile against Spurs away. Obviously, Spurs away is a far more difficult fixture, and Andreas has been pretty good at home for Fulham this year in way of providing attacking returns. So at the moment, I am leaning towards Andreas, and I think it's good to have this issue of having an extra player playing on the bench, because as you can see here, Mahrez as well is currently in the midfield. He got rested for the most recent match against Nottingham Forest, which could mean he'll play in the Champions League, which probably will mean he'll get benched again in the Premier League. So if Mahrez doesn't get any minutes, we do have that extra security on the bench to be able to get in Badiashile over Mahrez if Mahrez doesn't play. So that does provide us with a bit more safety there. Currently, Mo Salah's got the captain's armband as well. Obviously, I like him as well as Odegaard for a captain's shout, but I'm going to choose probably Mo Salah if I had to pick between the two. Odegaard obviously got a couple of good fixtures as well against Leicester and Everton, which is an extremely good double game week as far as an attacking perspective goes. So he could also be a decent differential captaincy shout, as well as Bukayo Saka as well. If anyone else has Bukayo Saka, he looks to be a nice captaincy pick there as well. And looking to the lads up top, Haaland's got Bournemouth. Hopefully he does play in this one. He should play in the Champions League as well. Whether or not he's going to be started in the Premier League against Bournemouth, we'll have to see. Maybe Alvarez gets a start on this one, but hopefully Haaland does get the nod. The new signing Watkins has got Everton away this week, which is a pretty good fixture from an attacking perspective. Everton have shored up their defence recently under Sean Dyche, but Watkins are playing in such great form. Hopefully he can continue his very clinical finishing in this fixture against Everton. And Bamford, also a player on the chopping block for us, does stay on the side this week because he's got a good fixture of Southampton at home, and our transfer priorities did lie elsewhere this week. But Bamford, a player that we could move on to Tony in the coming game weeks, especially ahead of game week 26, as Brentford do have a good fixture in 26, plus double in 27. If Tony does pick up a yellow card in the game week 26 fixture, though, it is going to provide us with quite a few headaches, because it will mean after his next yellow card, he'll pick up a 2-game suspension. So we really don't want him to get carded in game week 26, so he's all good to go for double game week 27. And that's pretty much the transfer plan. Otherwise, Mahrez as well could be a player we look to get out ahead of game week 26 or 27 for Solly March or Matoma from Brighton, as they are two players at a very cheap price at just over 5 million that have been in superb form with very good fixtures coming up. And with that double in 27, I think I do want to have at least one Brighton player. So potentially Mahrez down to March and Bamford up to Tony could be the moves ahead of game week 26 and 27, assuming Tony doesn't get suspended or pick up another yellow card. And then, as we discussed, looking at the bench, Olsen's there, Badiashile sitting in the first bench position as that extra security if we don't have a player play, such as Mahrez, who is probably the most likely player not to get minutes in this game week. But otherwise, pretty happy with how the team's set up. We have 6 double game week players with a couple of Man City lads facing Bournemouth, Watkins against Everton, Bamford's got a good fixture against Southampton, and Andreas has been good at home to Wolves. So pretty well set up for this week. Obviously, we've had to take a -8 hit to make this team possible, but I think having Liverpool players is the way forward, as they do avoid good blanks, have a good double this week, and I think also having those Aston Villa assets in Ollie Watkins will give us more flexibility later on in the season, as we don't have to worry about making transfers later on, whilst also capitalising in the near future with having those Liverpool assets for this double game week. Thanks for watching today's double and blank game week 25 team selection. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop a like and subscribe to show your support for the channel, and also to make sure you don't miss any future FPL videos. Click that notification bell, as there is going to be lots of FPL content in the build up to game week 25 plus future blank and double game weeks, as there's lots to discuss in way of FPL in the remainder of the season. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.